Hi, welcome to the Forces and Motions Simulation Lab. In this video, I will walk through the procedure for completing the lab. This lab utilizes a PhET simulation, and it says to click on the link and go to the friction tab, so let's go ahead and do that. So you open it up, press play, and then click on friction. We're going to pretty much stay here the whole time. When you open it up, this is what it will look like. So there are three parts to this lab. In part one, you are analyzing the relationship between the mass and acceleration of an object that has a constant force applied to it. You will fill out your data in data table A. Take a moment to read through the procedure and pause the video as necessary, and we'll come back together shortly to discuss. So for this part, what you're going to do is you are going to place different objects with different masses on your setup, and you're going to apply 100 newtons of force to each of these objects and figure out how long it takes for the object to accelerate when there's no friction from 0 meters per second to 40 meters per second. So when the speed goes from 0 to 40. So the setup will look like this each time. Make sure you click all of these boxes so you have all of this information here. Set your friction to none. And before you change your force, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the pause button. That way we can change the force, and as soon as we get the force to what we want it to be, we can go ahead and press play and the simulation will start. So they want it to be at 100 newtons, so I'm going to use this little tab here to go over, and then since I couldn't get it set at 100 newtons, I have it at 101, it's a little bit more than 100. Use the single arrows to either bring it up or down to where you need it to be. Now it's set at 100 newtons. Alright, so they're telling me the first object I'm starting off with is a 50 kilogram box, which is already set up for you, but of course if it's not set up for you, you could always drag and drop as necessary. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play and also get my timer ready, so there should be two of you working on this at least. So I'm going to see how long it takes for the box to go to 40 seconds. So I go ahead and I press play here, and it starts moving. I start my timer, and I'm going to watch how long it takes to get to 40 meters per second. Okay, that was 19 seconds. So in my data table, I'm going to type in 19 seconds. All right, now I'm going to repeat this process. And if you look at step 4, it says do the same procedure for a mass of 100 kilograms, which would be 2 crates, 200 kilograms, which is a refrigerator, and 300 kilograms, which is a fridge and 2 crates. So for my next entry, which is 100 kilograms, I need to use 2 crates. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up here. I'm going to hit the refresh button to reset it, and I'm going to start all over again. Select everything. Set the friction to none. Hit the pause button so that it's all set up for me. Now I need to change my masses. For this entry, I need 100 kilograms, which are 2 crates. So I go ahead and stack my second crate on there. And then I set my force to 100 newtons. This is a little bit too much over. Oops, now it's 2. So I'm going to tab. So make sure you hit the single arrow. Now it's set to 100 newtons. Okay, I can reset my timer. I hit play and I start my timer. Okay, and then I record how long it takes for it to reach 40 meters per second. Okay, so let's say that took me, that took 39 seconds. I'm going to repeat it for the refrigerator. So you use a refrigerator in that case. Make sure you select all this and set it up properly. And then the last entry, you're using the refrigerator and 2 boxes, and you're going to repeat the whole procedure. Once you have your data, the next thing is we're going to plot this data. Actually, before we plot the data, we have to calculate the acceleration. Acceleration can be calculated from the change in speed, which the speed is going from 0 to 40 meters per second. So the change in speed each time will be 40 meters per second divided by the time it took. So what we're going to do is to calculate the acceleration here, we take 40 divided by 19, and we'll get some number. So 40 divided by 19, and that's equal to 2.11. We can use 2 decimal places. I get my answer of 2.11 meters per second squared. And then I repeat for my other entries, 40 divided by 39. And I calculate and see what that is. And I'm going to get my answers for all of these. So after I've done that, I have all of my acceleration calculated. Now before I continue on to the plotting, what I wanted to briefly point out is your time has to be in seconds. So for my 200 kilograms, it took me, my timer said 1 minute and 30 seconds, which means that's 90 seconds. So you have to convert the minute to seconds by multiplying the minutes by 60 and then add that to the number of seconds that you also have. For my last entry, for example, it was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So I wrote 124 seconds. So make sure these are in seconds and not in minutes. So I calculated my acceleration, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot this in my Google Sheets. So you're going to open up your Google Sheets and make sure you make a copy for yourself. So you click on the link there, make a copy. And since we're in part 1, we are working on data table A. So at the bottom, you'll see the tab, make sure it's on data table A. Now the masses have already been put in for you, 50, 100, 200, 300 kilograms. And what you're going to do is you're going to type in the accelerations. So you're going to type in the values you got, 2.11, 1.03, 0.44, and 0.32. Make sure you don't type in any units, just type in the numbers. So once we have that in, remember, you've done this many times before, or several times before. To plot your data, you're going to click in the first box, the upper left box, hold down the Shift button, click the last piece of data in the lower right box to highlight your data. Once your data is highlighted, go to Insert at the top and go to Chart. Now, if it gives it to you in a scatter plot, you can change it to a line. I actually think that a scatter plot, as long as you can see sort of the shape of it, that's fine. But you want to see a line. So I think the one thing is they're going to ask you about the shape of the curve. So you want to click on that. All right. So that is that. That's what you have. And then it says to copy and paste. So remember, just to copy and paste, you click on the chart itself, go to Control C. And inside your data here, we're going to do Control V, paste it unlinked, and go ahead and just paste it in. Then you use that to answer the questions. All right, that's how we do part 1. Part 2 is similar, so the setup will be the same, but this time you are changing the force. The force will change and the mass will stay the same. So in part 2, you're always going to have one crate here. Make sure you select all of this. Don't forget to set the friction to none and hit the pause button. And you're going to record how long it takes to accelerate from 0 to 40 seconds, starting off with 100 newtons of force. So that should be the same answer that you got above, but you just go ahead and repeat it. So you'll set the newtons to 100. You record how long it takes to go to 40 meters per second. Then you repeat it for 200. So again, you just change this and so on. So, and then you record that. For this one, what you're going to plot is you're going to plot the force versus acceleration, and you're going to do that in data table B. So click at the tab at the bottom. The forces in newtons are already there. You just have to type in your accelerations as you did before and plot it. Once you have that down, copy and paste your Google from your Google Sheets. You're going to copy and paste it here. After that is done, you answer the questions. Now, finally, for the last one, for part 3, where you have where you're exploring the changes in friction, there's only 2 data entries here. You're going to start off with the friction on lots, and then set the applied force to 350 newtons, and see how long it takes for it to accelerate. So you're going to repeat this one more time, again with the friction now set at lots, and 450 newtons. So for this last one, the setup looks like this. Everything is pretty much the same, except for your friction has to be all the way over here to lots, okay? And don't forget to hit that pause so then you can change the force. All right, I hope you found this video helpful to kind of walk you through the procedure. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a quality day.